Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The date is 4th Rabiul Awwal 1447 on the Islamic calendar and August 28th, 2025 on the Gregorian calendar. And you are watching Muslim World News with me, your host, Abdurrahman Muhammad. Let's dive in and take a look at today's headlines. Nairobi's UN hub status stirs hope, jitters. Uganda to host American deportees. On business, EPRA plans to lower LPG prices. And for sports, Kenya's Chan journey sparks hope. On our first story right here at home, Kenyans commemorated their first official Katiba Day to honor the 2010 Constitution after President William Ruto declared August 27th as the day of reminder of the country's collective duty to the Constitution. The announcement coincided with the marking of the 15th anniversary of the 2010 Constitution on Wednesday. In his proclamation, President William Ruto said, "The Constitution of Kenya 2010 marked a defining moment in our nation's history, heralding a new era of constitutionalism, citizen-centered governance, devolution, and equitable development." Katiba Day, President William Ruto added, will henceforth be a working day but will be observed by all arms and levels of government, including schools and Kenya's diplomatic missions abroad. Institutions will be required to organize activities that foster constitutional awareness and civic engagement, read part of the executive proclamation. The 2010 Constitution marked a turning point in Kenya's democratic journey, ushering in citizen-centered governance, devolution, equitable development, and stronger protection of fundamental rights and freedom. In other news, with Nairobi emerging as a potential global diplomatic hub for the United Nations, experts have warned that the move will have an impact on the cost of living for locals, especially in housing sector. If the decision to relocate some UN agencies to Kenya goes through Nairobi, Nairobi will stand alongside New York, Geneva, and Vienna as one of the organization's key headquarters. The proposal, linked to the UN's UN80s reform, could see thousands of diplomats, staff members, and their families relocated to Kenya, pushing up rents in upper market neighborhoods such as Gigiri, Runda, and Muthaiga, including middle-class areas like Ruaka. Some advocates believe the shift will boost investments, create employment, and raise Nairobi's international profile, while critics argue that the benefits might bypass vulnerable groups. Civil society organizations warn that the low-income residents, especially those in informal settlements, may struggle with escalating living costs. Analysts stress that Kenya must invest in affordable housing, expand infrastructure, and adopt inclusive policies to ensure the city's transformation benefits all citizens. Dear viewers, our next story takes us to Uganda, where Uganda has confirmed it will accept some deportees from the United States under a new deal with President Donald Trump administration. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced that the agreement covers people who applied for asylum in the US, were denied, and are unwilling to return to their home countries. According to the ministry, Uganda will only receive migrants who have no criminal records, and it will not accept unaccompanied minors. Officials also said preference will be given to African nationals. Although they did not reveal how many people are expected to arrive, the announcement followed a day of mixed messages as earlier as the State Minister for Foreign Affairs Henry Oriem Okello rejected reports of any agreement, saying Uganda lacked the capacity to host deportees. The deal has triggered criticism from human rights groups who argue it risks undermining international asylum law and could lead to forced relocation. Opposition politicians in Uganda also accuse the government of seeking political advantage ahead of the 2026 elections. For the United States, the arrangement fits into a wider plan to transfer rejected asylum seekers to third world countries as part of its migration strategy. Meanwhile, in another update, Nigeria's Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has announced the deportation of 100 foreign nationals following their conviction of cyber terrorism and internet fraud. The announcement came as the countries step up a crackdown on online scam operations, which lured victims through online romances to hand over cash for fake cryptocurrency investments. EFCC spokesman Dele Oyewale said that 60 Chinese, 39 Filipino, and 2 people from Kazakhstan had been deported since August 15th, adding that more deportations are scheduled in the coming days. The deportees were among 792 suspected cybercriminals arrested in a single operation in the affluent Victoria Island area of Lagos in December. At least 192 of those arrested were foreign nationals, of whom 148 were Chinese, the EFCC said. Nigeria, Africa's most populous country, has a reputation for internet fraudsters known in local slang as Yahoo Boys, and the EFCC has busted several hideouts where young crime suspects learn online scamming skills. Our next story raises more questions than answers. In Senegal, a new initiative called Schools for Husbands is a challenging traditional gender role and promoting shared responsibilities in families. The program, supported by local NGOs and international partners, brings together groups of men to discuss marriage, fatherhood, and gender equality. In these informal classes, husbands learn about maternal health, women's rights, and the importance of supporting their wives in household duties. Organizers say the goal is to reduce gender-based violence and improve family well-being. Health workers report that communities with active husbands, schools have seen more women attending prenatal checkups and children receiving better healthcare. Men involved in the project say the discussion helps them rethink harmful cultural practices and become more supportive partners. Senegal still faces high rates of early marriages, domestic violence, and unequal access to education for women. Advocates believe these husband schools can help shift attitudes by engaging men directly, rather than focusing only on women. International organizations, including UN agencies, have praised the initiative as a model for promoting gender equality in Africa. Officials say the program could expand to be more regions if results remain positive. Now let's take a look at scenes of deep concern. Mohamed Shalan, a former national basketball star known as the Earthquake, was shot dead by Israeli forces in Gaza while trying to fetch food and medicine for his critically ill daughter. Shalan, 40 years old, had gone out to obtain supplies for his daughter, Mariam, who suffered from kidney failure and severe blood poisoning, but never returned. Instead, his body was brought home. He had represented Palestine's national team and was revered across Gaza. His death added to the grim toll of more than 800 athletes killed in Gaza since October 2023. Palestinian Basketball Federation paid tribute, calling him a martyr to hunger and war, and warning that his loss underscores the crushing toll on Gaza's sports community. United Nations and humanitarian groups condemned the killing, highlighting a pattern of violence that has claimed many civilians at aid sites, even as desperate families continue risking their lives for basic survival. Shalan's death has become a symbol of Gaza's humanitarian crisis, where heroes now fall while simply trying to feed their children. Still on the genocide in Gaza, at least 20 people, including 4 journalists, were killed in a double Israeli airstrike on Nasser Hospital in southern Gaza that cut off a live video feed from the scene. The first strike hit the hospital's 4th floor, and a second strike hit the same location minutes later. As rescue teams and reporters arrived, a photographer from Reuters was injured while a Reuters cameraman was among the dead. Journalists killed, including freelancers and staff from Reuters, AP, Al Jazeera, and NBC, plus a civil defense worker, intensifying global concern over attacks on media in conflict zones. The Palestinian Journalists Syndicate denounced the attack as an assault on press freedom, while the CPJ noted the death toll of journalists in Gaza has now exceeded 240. The IDF expressed regret, denied targeting journalists, and launched an inquiry. However, aid groups warn that such hospital attacks are fueling international outrage. This tragedy underscores the perilous reality for media and civilians on the front lines in Gaza and raises urgent calls for protection and accountability in the face of rising violence. From human faces and real lives, we now take a look at business and statistics. The Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, EPRA, confirmed that the country will begin sourcing liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, through an open tender system starting December 2025. The model, which is already in place for petroleum products, will pool national demand and award import rights to the lowest bidder. Energy officials say the move is designed to break price distortions linked to fragmented imports, which often leave consumers exposed to inflated costs. The OTA's framework will ensure transparency, fair competition, and ultimately deliver cheaper gas to Kenyan homes, an official at EPRA said. Alongside the new import system, the regulator is also working on introducing price caps for retail LPG by October. This will set maximum prices for different cylinder prices to cushion families from volatile market shifts. The initiative follows a cabinet decision made in December last year, directing EPRA to streamline LPG, heavy fuel oil and bitumen imports under a harmonized legal structure. If successfully implemented, the plan could mark a turning point for Kenya's clean energy agenda while offering relief to millions of households struggling with high living costs. In other business news, Kenya has signed a financing deal worth 22 billion with Japan in a move aimed at strengthening the country's industrial and energy sectors while reducing the cost of borrowing. The yen-denominated loan, commonly referred to as a samurai financing, is backed by Nippon Exports and Investment Insurance (NEXI) and comes with a 7-year repayment period. According to Treasury officials, the deal will help Kenya diversify its debt portfolio away from the United States dollars and tap into Japan's low-interest lending environment. This financing arrangement will not only support critical industries but also lower the cost of electricity for households and businesses, said Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi during the signing ceremony. Out of the total package, 13.1 billion Kenyan shillings has been allocated to the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry to support the country's automotive sector. The funds are expected to boost local vehicle assembly, promote electricity vehicle production, and build skills for component manufacturing in line with Kenya's automotive policy. Another 4.8 billion will go to the Ministry of Energy to modernize the power grid. The government plans to procure high-efficiency transformers and upgrade transmission infrastructure to cut electricity losses, which currently stand at about 23%. The remaining fund will provide fiscal support to other government programs. And finally, turning our attention onto sports news. A week after Harambee Stars' heartbreaking CHAN quarter-final exit to Madagascar, attention is now turning to the positives and what lies ahead for Kenyan football. Despite bowing out on penalties, Kenya ended the tournament unbeaten in regular play and conceded just 2 goals in 5 matches, a defensive record that has drawn praise from analysts. Many say this performance proves that the Stars are capable of competing with Africa's best. Young talents such as Alphonse Omija and Ryan Ogam also made their mark, signaling the emergence of a new generation for the national team. The impact, alongside the team's discipline and resilience, has raised hope for the upcoming World Cup and AFCON qualifiers. For Harambee Stars, CHAN 2024 may not have delivered a trophy, but it has built a foundation of belief, and fans are eager to see how this momentum will shape Kenya's future on the continental stage. Still on sports news, French club Rennes has confirmed that one of its young academy players has been arrested by police in Rennes. The 17-year-old was taken into custody on August 21st after being found in possession of cocaine during a police stop at a location identified with drug activity in Stockholm Square. The club says it is closely following the matter and will await the outcome of investigations before commenting further. The teenager remains unnamed due to his age, but the case has already raised concerns about discipline and welfare within football academies. That's all we had lined up for you today. And before we say ma'asalam, here is a little spark to carry with you. Did you know your brain generates about 20 watts of electricity while you're awake, enough to power a small light bulb? It's a reminder that even on days you feel drained, your mind is still buzzing with energy. If you didn't know, now you know. That brings us to the end of today's program of Muslim World News. I've been yours truly, Abdurrahman Muhammad. It's been a pleasure having you with us. Stay informed, stay inspired, and may peace be upon you. Until next time.